This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Hello and welcome to Pulse of Africa News. I'm Ado Masai with the latest. First, our top stories for today. Dangote submits paperwork to build biggest, deepest ports in Nigeria. South Africa's Cape Town has been named best city in the world by Telegraph. Ukraine should not target Moscow, says Trump. Now the news in detail. Dangote submits paperwork to build biggest, deepest ports in Nigeria. The Dangote conglomerate, a group owned by Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, is active in a range of industries. Exporting its many products is key for the group, and now plans for a new port could help with that. Dangote reportedly submitted a construction proposal for a seaport located in Ogun State in southwestern Nigeria to the regional authorities in late June. The project could be the biggest and deepest port in Nigeria. According to the proposal, the port would be constructed in the Olokola Free Trade Zone, a project initially abandoned by Dangote over unresolved issues with the previous local administration. Health leaders demand urgent support to avert HIV setbacks. Health leaders at the International AIDS Society IAS 2025 conference in Kigali have warned that shrinking funding and wavering political will could undermine the global HIV response. According to World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, abrupt funding cuts are already disrupting access to life-saving HIV treatments in many countries. He called on governments and donors to protect decades of hard-won progress in treatment, prevention, and care. The International AIDS Society IAS Conference on HIV Science is the world's most influential meeting on HIV research and its applications. This biennial conference presents the latest HIV research and innovations that move science into policy and practice. Kenya to raise drinking age to 21. Kenya is on the verge of a significant policy overhaul set to raise the legal drinking age from 18 to 21 and implement a nationwide ban on online alcohol sales. These sweeping reforms outline the newly approved 2025 national policy on alcohol, drugs, and substance abuse aimed to combat the growing crisis of alcohol and drug abuse, particularly among the nation's youth. The proposed changes extend beyond the drinking age, introducing stringent measures such as strict zoning regulations that prohibit alcohol outlets within 300 meters of schools, places of worship, and residential areas. This could lead to the closure or relocation of numerous establishments across the country. Furthermore, the policy outlaws all forms of digital alcohol trade, including online sales, vending machines, and home deliveries, effectively closing loopholes that allow minors to access alcohol through mobile apps and courier services. Telegraph has named South Africa's Cape Town best city in the world. With summer now well underway, the results of the 2025 Telegraph Travel Awards are in. Readers of the British Telegraph newspaper have elected Cape Town as the best city in the world for a 7th time in a row. More than 20,000 travelers cast their votes. They placed the South African metropolis ahead of Seville in second place and Sydney in third in a ranking revealed on Saturday. To explain this success, the Telegraph underlined Cape Town's photogenic power. The city features iconic locations like Table Mountain and its famous cable car, or the Victoria and the Alfred waterfronts. Cape Town is used for taking the crown for greatest city on earth. Time Out magazine also placed it at the top of its list in January, based on a survey of travelers and experts. In other news, thousands of Afghans have moved to the UK under a secret scheme which was set up after a British official inadvertently leaked their data. It can be revealed. In February 2022, the personal details of nearly 19,000 people who had applied to move to the UK after the Taliban seized power in Afghanistan were leaked. The previous government learned of the breach in August 2023 when some of the details appeared on Facebook. A new resettlement scheme for those on the leaked lists was set up 9 months later and has seen 4,500 Afghans arrive in the UK so far. Ukraine should not target Moscow, says U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump had taken office vowing to end the conflict swiftly and to stop the flows of billions of dollars of U.S. weapons to Ukraine. U.S. President Donald Trump said Tuesday that Ukraine should not target Moscow after the Kremlin charged that a new U.S. plans to supply weapons to Kyiv along with sanctions threats against Russia would delay peace efforts. Trump on Monday gave Russia 50 days to strike a peace deal with Ukraine, voicing exasperation with Moscow and announcing that NATO members would supply Kyiv with a new military aid. In what would be an even more extraordinary shift, the Financial Times reported that Trump spoke to Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky about providing U.S. missiles to Moscow.
The story of resurgent Ethiopia and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel, all the time. Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Now to business news. Tesla marks India entry with first showroom. Tesla unveiled its first showroom in India on Tuesday, marking its entry into the world's most populous country as Elon Musk's electric vehicle company sees new customers amid declining sales in the United States and Europe. The store opened its doors to select visitors after its inauguration in India's financial capital, Mumbai. Tesla has for years signaled its interest in India but held back due to the country's steep tariffs on electric vehicles. Musk, who once described India as having more promise than any other large country, has also criticized its import duties, calling them among highest in the world. New Delhi has offered to cut import taxes on electric vehicles for global automakers only if they commit to investing hundreds of millions of dollars and make cars locally. Finally, Trump says U.S. will be fighting China in a very friendly fashion. U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday lauded a new trade deal signed with Indonesia and said the United States would be fighting China in a very friendly fashion. Trump told an energy summit at Carnegie Mellon University that other trade deals could be reached, including potentially with India. Trump has launched a global trade war, levying tariffs of at least 10% on many countries and higher rates on many others. Before concluding, let us provide you with the latest updates on global commodities prices. Now to weather updates. That's all for today, and thank you for watching Pulse of Africa.
This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.